Warning: the following footage is the result of a very bad high. Some viewers may find this content highly disturbing. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, you pieces of shit? That was so aggressive, I apologize. Welcome back to High Crime, a show where I take an edible and get very high and talk about a fucked up serial killer. I'm just gonna get right into it. I got nothing new for you guys. I haven't replenished my stash in a little bit. I'm gonna do the last of the Wild and the Wise. You know? You remember these guys? Talk about a throwback. No one watches this. I don't know how much I should do. Can't remember what these did to me. I'll do half. They all have bites out of them, so I guess they're all halves. Alright, fine. Shit. Once again, another disclaimer, I will be talking about sexual assault. So if that's not something you want to hear, I'll see you next week for the next piece of shit. I'm feeling pretty sassy tonight. You guys, I think you're in for a real treat. See you in an hour, motherfuckers. You guys, I'm just straight up wearing pajamas. I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna dress up for you, okay? You think you're special? That's a good way to treat your audience. Guys, oh, it's gonna be a good one. Today we're gonna be talking about... Who? Oh. You can do this. Today we're going to be talking about Robert Hansen, aka the Butcher Baker. Robert was born in Estherville, Iowa in 1939. His father was a Danish immigrant and he was not nice to Robert, let's just say. And his father was a baker and Robert was forced to work at the bakery. And he hated it, and his father was very domineering. He would like yell at him for being worthless while he's in this hot ass bakery. And he was left-handed, and his father forced him to be right-handed for some reason. I don't know, that is a normal thing, right? He was just a nerd. Like, how do I explain? Picture nerd. Go, nerd, nerd, nerd. That's what he looked like. That's so not funny. It's not funny at all. If I just convince myself I'm not high, I'm not high. He had... You're killing it. He had a face just covered in acne. Been there, okay? This was pre-Accutane, so nothing you could do about that. He had a horrible stutter, and he was just skinny and awkward, and he was severely bullied. I just got sad thinking about it. But he's still a bad person. He still did fucked up things. But oh, I'm feeling everyone feeling everything. Does that make sense? That'll be on the test tomorrow. And the attractive girls at school didn't really want anything to do with him. And it built up this hatred in him. So he started practicing his archery and hunting skills, as you do when you're a lonely, sad child. And he was like just a fucking gun nut. He had this Madonna whore complex, so he thought all women were slutty whores or perfect virginal wives, like marriage material. You know what I mean? Like, right? That makes sense. Cool. Moving on. I hate drugs. I hate being like this right now. Is there sand in my mouth? So, in 1950, okay, he joined the Army Reserves. The Army Reserves, and was discharged like within a year. So, great job, A plus Bob. And he moved to Pocahontas, Iowa, and he finds a woman. He gets married. So in 1960, he gets arrested for burning down some school bus garage as like weird form of revenge from high school. When he was in jail, he got diagnosed with bipolar, with periodic schizophrenic episodes. So he got out, and after he got out, he kept getting arrested for petty thefts. So in 1967, he moves to Anchorage, Alaska, which people did to get a fresh start, apparently, because it's fucking in the middle of nowhere, all nature. I mean, if that's what you want, be my guest. His previous wife divorced him when he went to jail. He got remarried and had 2 children. And in Alaska, he was like a well-liked guy in his neighborhood. He had a great bakery, which, you know, I guess he decided to be a baker, even though he fucking hated it. And he was like a great hunter, like set some records, whatever. But his shittiness followed him, and he got arrested for attempted rape, and stealing a chainsaw from Fred Meyer, which is like a kind of a department store type thing. So the killing started around 1972-ish, and what he would do was pick up sex workers, hold them at gunpoint. It's been slipping? How long has it been doing that? No. Great, good, fucking fantastic. So it wasn't unusual to find a body or 2 in the Alaskan woods, because there may be some like amateur hiker hiking through. They're like, I don't know what to do in this situation. This is a vast frozen tundra. I'm dead. But then more bodies kept turning up, like more than usual. So the cops were like, something's happening. He would take them back to his house and torture them. Then say, I'm going to take you out to my cabin. Nay, I'm going to fly you out to my cabin. That's right, folks. He had his pilot's license and owned a plane. So this bitch was mobile. And then they would get to the cabin, he would say, run. And then he would basically hunt her. So in June of 1983, that sounds right, Robert picks up 17-year-old sex worker, Cindy Paulson. He does all of that shit to her. And when he takes her to his airport, in his hangar, right? That's a term. He leaves her in the car. He goes and starts to load the plane, and she saw her escape. And she was smart, because she was like, I know I am not coming back from that. So she escaped, and has this been like sticking out this whole time? This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Okay, well, I don't want to be here anymore. And a trucker picked her up and dropped her off at a hotel, I guess, and she called the police, and they interview her, and she's like, this fucking guy. And they go to interview Robert, and he's like, she got mad because she jacked the price up on me, and I wouldn't put up with this extortion. So I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. And because he was this unassuming fucking nerdy little bitch boy, they're like, and he had this bakery, was like, an upstanding family man. There's no way. And, you know, she was just a sex worker, and that went cold. So, and he had a fake alibi from a friend for that night. So they were like, this all checks out. Can't be our guy. Robert Baker, bitch. But they still had all of these bodies. They're like, well, what? Who's doing this? And they're like, I think it's Robert. So they bring in criminal profiler John fucking Douglas, everybody. You're still the one that he comes in and delivers them a profile. So somehow they get a search warrant, and the inside of his house and this like man cave was exactly how Cindy described it. They found guns in the insulation in his attic. They found necklaces and jewelry of the missing women, and a lot of serial killers collect trophies from their victims, and they found a map with a bunch of X's on it. So like,
Hey Bob, what's this, buddy?
and John Douglas helped them like create an interrogation tactic and like set up the room perfectly. And they bring him in, and he's like, I don't know what you are talking about. I would never. And they were like, you like clearly, come on, this is you. Whose jewelry is this? And he just got like backed into a corner and finally confessed, but blamed it on the victims. So they think he killed around 17 women, but there's probably more. But he was sentenced to 461 years plus life. Goodbye. I'm fucking done. I did it. I am so proud of myself. We did it. We did it together, me and you, we did it. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a nightmare. If you want to hear about another serial killer, fuck yeah. Do you want to give me drugs? Don't.